Welcome to episode 127 of the Thunder Underground podcast. My name's Trent. As always, I'm joined by Jason. We've got Chris Taylor, the man, the myth, the mother effing legend behind DMG Productions, who's running the Darkside Stage at Rocklahoma.
Yes.
And he's here with us to talk about all that.
Definitely.
So we're going to get to that here in a bit. And of course, surrounded by that is the rest of Rocklahoma. We're going to talk about that. Talk about a couple other things. But obviously up front, we've got to talk about Chris Cornell. Yes.
I mean, we can't look that over for sure.
Yeah. Of course, a few days ago, Chris Cornell passed away. So we, anytime someone in the music or rock world's passed away, we usually mention it. But if it's someone that we love, we talk about it a little more in detail, which is what's going to happen here now.
Yeah. I mean, admittedly, I really haven't been in the Soundgarden in any shape or form in quite a long time. You kind of flew that flag, so I mean, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking right now?
Well, I will say off the bat, like, what am I thinking is, I don't know, I think we've talked about this before, but of course, obviously it's sad when anybody dies because it's affecting someone. Mm-hmm. Friends, family. If it's a celebrity, there's always some fan out there that is a diehard.
Yes.
That it's going to hurt at some point. But, for the most part throughout my life, when a celebrity or musician dies, I'm like, man, that really sucks. Mm-hmm. But then I go on about my day and weeks and whatever.
Yeah.
But when Dimebag got killed, like, it made me sick to my stomach for like weeks.
Yeah.
I just thought about it all the fucking time like it was my brother or something, which sounds weird. And that's not just because of the way he died, but because this guy was a huge part of my musical being, I guess. One of my favorite musicians.
Huge part of your life, period. Yeah. I mean, really.
And then the only other times that's happened was with Peter Steele.
Yeah.
And Janie Lane a little bit.
Yeah. Because
that was a huge part of my beginning in music, was Warrant and all those bands.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And this is the first one since those guys that hit me that way because of how much I love this guy's voice. So, I mean, even still, it's only been, 4 or 5 days, but still when I think about it, you get that you pit in your stomach like you do if someone is sick, or something's wrong.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense because I didn't know the guy, I never met him. But like you said, it's a huge part of your life because for the better part of 25, 26 years, that guy's voice has been in my life.
Yeah, and it speaks to his ability and his talent and to how many people he touched with his music.
Yeah. And for me as a fan of music, I've got my 3 favorite singers of all time. Mm-hmm. Mike Patton, John Bush, and Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
And to right under that, probably John Crosby. And those are all for a little bit, all different reasons. Mm-hmm. But then I've got a list of the top 3 greatest just pure rock and roll singers. Because you've got all those guys out here like Steve Perry, Bruce Dickinson, Rob Halford. The list goes on and on of truly wonderful, talented singers. But when it comes to just pure rock and roll, it's Robert Plant, Roger Daltrey, and Chris Cornell.
Definitely.
I put him up there with those 2. Like, it's just that when you think of just a voice that embodies everything, not only being fantastic, beautiful voice, but also being just something because when you think of Mike Patton, that guy can do anything. He's sang with opera singers, he's sang with rap artists, just anything across the board. But with Cornell or Plant or Daltrey, you think this guy was put on earth for one thing, and that's rock and roll, no other reason.
Yeah.
And he just embodied that perfectly to me.
I mean, definitely. I think that what he could do with his voice was insane. I mean, I remember, we all knew Soundgarden. We knew what that sounded like. We knew what his voice sounded like. And we knew it could do a lot of things. I remember hearing Audioslave for the first time and that first scream.
And Cochise?
Yeah.
It was? Yeah.
And then when he just took off and started singing, and he had more rasp than I'd ever heard, really.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, here's just another trick in this guy's hat. I mean, and where has this been for the last, 12 years or however long it was? I mean, it was so impressive. And, it's just a sad loss. It was shocking to me. You know, it's like, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but you know, when we heard about Scott Weiland, not surprised. It's sad, it's terrible, but we all saw that coming. But this, I had no clue. I just couldn't. I was like, what? I mean, there was nothing. There was nothing going on with this guy other than his amazing music that led anybody to think that this is going to happen.
Well, look, he went through all that shit the same way Weiland or Lane Staley or anyone did, with all the abuse, drug abuse and alcohol and whatever. Alcohol, I guess, was his thing later on. I don't know, but like, we don't even need to speculate on that. But the point is, he went through all that shit in the 90s and got through it. Yeah. And then, like you said, you don't ever associate him with that anymore, but you still always associated Weiland with it. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Lane Staley, up until he passed away. But you never expected that from Cornell. That's right. Even though that's not apparently how he died, but still, it obviously led to the way he died, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? And we might never know. And, like I've said before about certain situations, it might not be for us to know. Right. But it's a terrible loss. And, I mean, it's just, we got to stop losing these guys. I mean, there's not, bands that come up now aren't going to get as big as these guys or ever. Right. And, I mean, it's just, it just sucks. It really sucks.
Yeah, and I mean, well, admittedly, grunge, I've always liked a lot of the stuff from it, but there's stuff I don't care about. Yeah. We've talked negatively about Nirvana before. Who cares? But the point is, of all those bands, we liked at least something from most of them. Oh, and definitely. I love a lot of that grunge era, because we were still coming up when grunge took over, it was our late teens, mm-hmm. So we were still immersed in all that stuff on the radio. Yeah. And, it's below the list on a lot, metal and 80s rock and all that stuff to me, but I still love it. But look, all those guys are gone now, except for Eddie Vedder. I know. Even the 5 main groups, they're all gone except for him, and then even Andrew Wood, Shannon Hoon. Yep. And those guys are amazing talents as well. Yeah. It's just crazy. But that defined that scene, was people dying young, I guess.
Yeah, the kind of moroseness of it. Moroseness, I don't even know if that's a word.
Well, speaking of that scene, it's like, we're talking about Cornell. I know that me and you both, we've mentioned this before a long time ago, that whenever all that stuff was going on, I know I did, and I think you did, gravitated towards Alice in Chains and Soundgarden, because they were the 2 bands that were more metal influenced than the other ones. Exactly. And even you listen to the first 2 Soundgarden albums before Bad Motorfinger, mm-hmm. like Loud Love and Ultra Mega OK. Yeah. That's just freaking Sabbath with some other elements thrown in. You know? And it's crazy that, like, I mean, you listen to that stuff, you really hear how great a singer this guy is, because he kind of toned it down whenever we got into the super unknown in the 90s era, Yeah. Yeah. But to me, I don't want to piss some people off either, but this guy's better than Lane Staley. This is the best guy from that whole era. Lane Staley had Jerry Cantrell adding to that voice, that wonderful voice. Cornell, that was just him.
Quick story, funny you mentioned that. That conversation we had earlier out here on the patio about, hey, can I listen to some Soundgarden? Right. Am I going to be that guy if I do, and you told me, go listen to the Corridor covers, that they just did on Liquid Metal Sirius. And I did, and, it was great, and I was listening and all that stuff, and it just, I don't know why, it just occurred to me, Chris Cornell's voice didn't have that, like, I don't even know, the warble that, like, Eddie Vedder and, like, Lane Staley kind of had. Yeah. Maybe Lane Staley not as much, but they both kind of had the pickle and mouth thing going on, as Butch Walker always liked to put it. Right. And, Chris Cornell didn't have that. And, in Nirvana, Kurt Cobain's voice was just, it was punk. It was more punk. It was more rough. And, I mean, I kind of tend to agree with what you just said. I mean, that was a long story to get around to just saying I agree with you, but he really had the best voice out of those guys.
Yeah.
Really did. I mean, he does stuff low. He can go real high. He can find a rasp. I mean, and then on top of all the songwriting, it's just fucking forget about it, man. You know?
Yeah, I'd said that way back, you know, like, this guy's one of the best lyric writers there ever was, in my opinion. You know, just because, like, everything is top of the line. There's no, like, something like, what the fuck is that? You know, there's none of that. Mm-hmm. And he's up, I mean, I'm talking top 5 all time, in my opinion. You know, him and Butch Walker and, you know, Robert Plant or whoever wrote Zeppelin's lyrics, all that, you know.
Yeah.
Just, he's up there.
Yeah, definitely.
And, I mean, you know, fortunately, I mean, well, I guess, did you only see him the one time at Lollapalooza?
Yes. That was the one time.
You can say that now, that there's probably a lot of people that would die to have that chance to see Soundgarden and the Ramones on the same day.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I was...
And top it off with Metallica and Rancid.
Yeah, I was just talking to somebody about that yesterday.
Yeah.
And they were like, wow, fuck you. You saw all those in one day?
Right.
Sure did.
Well, I saw that, and then later that year... I can't remember if it was later that year or the next year.
You went to, like, Houston to see Soundgarden, right?
Yeah.
You said it was in some old grocery store that got turned into a venue.
Yeah, it was called The Warehouse. It might still be there.
That would have been cool.
Me and Jason Stewart went, like, it was while we were going to school at Oklahoma, at OU, and we went back to his parents' house for Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
And they live in Houston, so we went down there and then went to the Soundgarden show. We're down there. I remember Rocket from the Crypt open.
Okay.
It stuck with me for some reason. But yeah, it was great. And then... Yeah, that's the only 2 times I ever saw Soundgarden. And then...
You got to see Temple of the Dog recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last November, flew to Seattle with Bill Ray and saw Temple of the Dog. So that was literally, you know, just being there in Seattle, seeing that and watching that and hearing him and that band was one of those real surreal, kind of weird things that rank up there in my all-time concert experiences. And I'm not saying that now because he's gone. I mean, go back and listen.
Yeah, I already know.
Yeah. Anyone that's listening, go back and listen to episode 97. I said it all then.
Yeah, and you know what? No one even has to go back and listen to anything. If you know Trent, you know he's not bullshitting right now.
But yeah, I mean, he's saying, you know, Andrew Wood is like one of those phenomenal, underrated talents of rock and roll. Mm. And there's barely anybody out there that could do that guy's voice justice. And Cornell was obviously one of those. And they sang several Mother Love Bone songs at that thing. And that was just unbelievable. The whole thing. So it's just kind of great that I guess they did that last year. They did 5 cities. I think it was 9 shows or something like that. You know, and good thing they did it when they didn't, because if they had waited another year, we would never got that chance to see that. I
bet they would have done it again.
Yeah, that was my guess. I'm like, I think we talked about that. I figured it would come again, but
it was too successful not to.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, I was really looking forward to seeing him at Rocklahoma.
Right.
I hadn't seen him in 22 years, 21 years, or whatever. But, you know, this is what happens, so. Yeah,
I will say there's several bands I'm greatly looking forward to at Rocklahoma, but I would put that was probably number 1 on my list, just because even though I'd seen him, like you said, it's been since 96 or 7. Yeah. And, you know, so that was high up on my list just because I haven't seen Kim Dale in 21 years.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it was number 1 on my list, and that's no bullshitting, because I hadn't seen them in so long, and I was just like, I'd been thinking, I really need to bone up on my Soundgarden. I'm about to see him in a week. Right. And then this happened. It was fucking crazy.
Right. Well, you don't need us to tell you it's a horrible loss.
Yeah.
You know, crank up some Soundgarden, and don't just crank up Black Hole Sun and Fell on Black Days. Crank up some good shit like Slaves and Bulldozers, Jesus Christ Pose, Drawing Flies. I'm just naming everything off Bad Moon Free. You know, go to Down on the Upside and crank up Ty Cobb and No Attention and Pretty Noose.
Yeah.
That whole album's fantastic. Burden in my hand.
Yeah. Holy shit. What the fuck just happened?
Right. But, you know, even his solo stuff, you know, is all phenomenal. Mm-hmm. You know, the recent stuff, like, man, I can't even remember some of the songs on that album because I only listened to it a couple times, but it was really good. And that's the thing about solo stuff. I always liked it, but I never gravitated towards it the way I did Soundgarden and Temple of the Dog. Mm-hmm. But one of my bucket list things was to see his, him solo.
Yeah.
Because, he played not only Soundgarden, Temple of the Dog, he played Audio Slave, he played his solo stuff, he did tons of covers. That's been circulating ever since he passed away, was the Prince cover and the Michael Jackson cover. That,
oh, yeah, that's right.
No circulated the first time around a few years ago when he did them because they're so good.
Yeah. Two things. I want to go back and listen to Original Fire by Audio Slave. I always liked that song.
Yeah.
And then another one, I read it at Rock on the Range when they did that tribute. They also, I think after that, I'm not sure exactly when in the night, but they played his isolated vocal track for Black Hole Sun.
Oh,
they
wow.
played it over the PA. I bet that was pretty heavy.
Right.
Yeah,
that would be kind of eerie.
Yeah.
Almost.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, if you've never listened to their early stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like the first couple albums, like I mentioned earlier, it's just pure raw, heavy rock.
Yeah, definitely.
And listen to Guns N' Roses covering Big Dumb Sex if you get a chance to.
Yes.
You had to throw it in. Well, let's talk about something a little more uplifting.
Okay, let's do that.
Warrant's new album, Louder, Harder, Faster, came out here a little over a week ago. We're both lifelong Warrant fans.
Lifelong.
So
unapologetic, too.
Right, yeah. If you were just listening to the Soundgarden part and that's your era of music and you don't like what came before it, then you might want to turn this off because we don't care.
And we don't. Deal with it.
Right. So as soon as this came out, or any new Warrant, we're going to check it out. The first album they did with Robert Mason came out, was it 5 years ago now? Or no, it was 2011.
2011. Rockaholic.
Yeah.
Great record.
That was great. And here we are with the follow-up to that 6 years later. And I'm going to say, and I bet you do not agree with this, but I like it better than Rockaholic. It's different, but it's just something, Rockaholic seemed a little more cohesive.
Mm-hmm.
Or it flowed a little better.
Yeah.
Because this has a lot of singular songs.
Mm-hmm.
But I just like more songs. I loved Rockaholic. I didn't dislike any songs, but there's just more of this that jumps out to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think right off the bat? I don't know that we need to compare it to that, but I'm just saying that's the only thing with Robert Mason with Warrant that we have to compare it to.
I felt like Rockaholic is Warrant just, hey, this is what we do. We're a band from this era and it sounds a certain way and we're just going to do this. And it's bright and it's punchy, and it's just, it's one of those, feel good 80s rock, roll down the windows, fucking, and drive 80 miles an hour kind of. And this one is more, it's a little bit more like organic. It's maybe them tapping more into their like 70s classic rock roots a little bit more. It's a little bit more realized and, it's them kind of stretching a little bit. And I think that's really refreshing and I enjoy it. Jeff Pilson of, Foreigner and Dokken produced it. Maybe that helped a little bit. But just the, sonic sound, it's a little bit more, it's got a class, the songs, are still there and the songs are undeniably Warrant, but, sonically it just sounds a little bit more, a little bit more pure, raw. Like I said, organic. I don't know. I always kind of go to those words.
Right.
I hope that you kind of can pick up on what I'm saying, but that's my first thoughts on it.
Yeah. Well, the songs, I think there's a lot of, pretty much every style of song that Warrant's ever done.
Yeah.
Is kind of encapsulated here on this one album.
Yeah.
I mean, the title track and the first song, Louder, Harder, Faster. There's a couple other songs like New Rebellion that, in that same kind of style, just get up, go, hard rock. Let's fucking throw down,
Yeah.
We're a band from the 80s and we're going to fucking party.
Yeah.
That's what those two songs do. New Rebellion's fucking fantastic, by the way. But then, when you get into stuff like Devil Dancer, this is just a great song. It's more of that brooding, groovy, bluesy kind of lynch mob-esque kind of thing. And then you just start going down the list. Perfect is
that's a great song.
a fucking perfect song.
Yeah, it is.
It's one of those songs that, like, if that had came out in Warrant's heyday, it would have been as big as Heaven or any song they had, because it's that good of a song.
I really like Let It Go. I thought that was a great song.
Yeah.
Big Sandy's awesome. It's just a great record. It's fun to listen to.
Yeah, Big Sandy, you know, the first time you hear it, it's stuck in your head.
Yeah.
You know, it's just kind of, almost kind of like a joke, but not really, you know, it's just, but it's just a fun song.
Music Man.
Yeah, Music Man is just this great kind of down-home kind of twang, clean guitar thing, and then it gets into that fucking, you know, just...
Yeah, like I said, like you said, this record taps into everything they do.
Yeah, Only Broken Heart, you know, has a Thin Lizzy sound there for a bit, and goes into that kind of classic...
I caught that Thin Lizzy vibe too, definitely.
And then there's the mid-tempo, what's the Jerry Miller thing?
Groove-Laden Rockers.
There we go.
I need to start a band called the Groove-Laden Rockers.
If you'd started that in 1991, then... you would have been on the cover of Metal Edge every week.
I'd have played M3 a couple weeks ago.
Right? But yeah, I mean, if you've ever liked Warrant at any point, give this thing a shot. If you're one of those people that don't pay attention because Jani Lane's gone, seriously, do this. I mean, the thing I love about Robert Mason is not only is he badass and amazing, he doesn't sound like Jani Lane.
No.
And I mean, sometimes that works, you know, with bands, you know, if you get a guy that sounds a lot like the previous guy.
Yeah.
But Robert Mason has his own thing. You know, he was in Lynch Mob, and there's a couple of these songs. He had his own band, Big Cock, that had several albums before he joined Warrant.
Yeah, that was a great band.
And a couple of these songs, like the faster ones, Louder, Harder, Faster, and Big Sandy, and New Rebellion, really remind me of stuff from Big Cock. Because maybe that's because, you know, he has a hand in writing.
Yeah.
You know, I think you said you saw a thing where Eric Turner said he handles most of the writing with Jerry Dixon. So.
Yeah, I read where it's him and Jerry do most of the writing. And, you know, I want to touch on what you said a minute ago. If it's, it's not Jani Lane, whatever, you know. Well, he gave Robert Mason the stamp of approval.
Right.
You know, when this happened, you know, before he passed away and when Robert Mason got into Warrant. Jani was cool with it, so you should fucking be cool with it.
Exactly. And speaking of Jani Lane, we've got an episode coming soon with Mark Kendall where he talks quite a bit about Jani Lane, which is some good stuff. So be able to look out for that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, Louder, Harder, Faster from Warrant just came out probably a week and a half ago by now by the time you're hearing this. Check it out. If you love good rock and roll, you'll love it.
Do it.
Rocklahoma is here. We're a mere few days away.
That's right.
We're actually I'm going out there tomorrow night.
Okay.
You're going out there Wednesday afternoon.
Yes, Wednesday afternoon I'll be there.
So we're here within hours. But the party, as far as music, which is what people listen to this for, kicks off Thursday. Mm-hmm. So we're not going to get in here and list every band. We'll worry about that after the fact, I think, on the review. But we might hear on a couple of the pre-parties and stuff. Let's just, before we get into any of that, we mentioned Soundgarden earlier. Yeah. Now that that's not an option, can you name one band that you're looking forward to seeing more than anybody?
Oh, man. God.
I didn't even think this through myself. This isn't a prepared question.
Let me look, because I'm sure there's shit I'm forgetting.
Because there's several bands I love, but I'm trying to think if there's one, you can name one.
If I could name one? Oh, man. You're killing me here. You are killing me. Probably just based on the simple fact that I've never seen him before. I gotta pick one, huh?
Well, we can say here in a minute everybody else.
Yeah, I think I'm really... Suicidal Tendencies.
All right.
I'm pretty sure. I don't think I've ever seen them ever. But then again, Diamond Head, I mean, they're new wave of British heavy metal legends, but I think there's only one or two guys left. They're original.
Right.
So, see, here I go. I mean, I can't name one. I'll shut up.
But no, I think that's Suicidal Tendencies for me, too. I've seen them before, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
And, bands, The Cult is one of my all-time bands, Mm-hmm. but I've seen them like freaking 12 times now.
Yeah.
So, and as much as I want to see them again, it's not like at the top of my list because of that. But let's just get to that here in a minute. I mean, Thursday when this thing kicks off, the Axis stage has a pretty strong damn lineup.
Yes, it does.
Both Axis and Camp Jager's Retrospect pre-party, both those pre-parties have strong lineups. So I think, I don't know about everybody else, but I think from our standpoint, we've always been dominant at the Camp Jager party because it's very close to where we camp. It's 2 rows over.
Yep.
Getting access was always a little hike, but we've always done it at least a couple times for whatever band we want to see.
Yeah.
But I think this year there's a few more that would be hopping back and forth.
Yeah, for sure.
And it kicks off with Scream Red Mutiny.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Right.
I mean, we have to go. We have to be there.
I mean, listen to that. The first 3 bands kicking off Thursday evening are Scream Red Mutiny, Reliance Code, and Severmind.
Yeah.
Severmind got added this past week.
Yes. I mean, what do you say?
Right. If you've listened to us at any point, you know that we love all 3 of these bands. We've talked about them a multitude of times. Well, this lineup on Access has several other great bands we've talked about. Nick Nose, Locust Grove, Final Drive, BC and the Big Rig. All these are great bands. So just get over there and party. You're gonna, that's kind of a wide spread of all different styles of hard rock and metal.
Yeah, I mean, you've got
gonna have
metal,
a great time.
But you've also got BC and the Big Rig. And you've got the Nick Nose.
Yeah.
So, I mean, which is all great, it's
and
how it should be.
Fucking Locust Grove, man. That's a band you don't want to miss if you have never seen them. That's a live band to behold.
I have to fucking go to that one because I've never seen them before.
That's right.
Still haven't seen them yet. I'm going to remedy that Thursday.
Right on. Well, what we've got to kind of jump between is that in the Retrospect Thursday pre-party hosted by Camp Jager actually starts a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That thing on Axis starts at 6 p.m., but starting at 3 p.m. all day long Thursday, we've got Troy, Core Rozic, Wild Plains, 3D in Your Face. I'm going to come back to that. Switchback, Fist of Rage, Electronomicon, Ratchet Dolls, Wild Street, Night Rain, Desire the Fire, and Coda Cutlass.
Yeah.
I mean, this is 12 hours plus worth of music.
Yes, it is.
And every one of those bands are great. I'm really looking forward to seeing Night Rain and Wild Street because it's been a while. The Ratchet Dolls are freaking great. Seen them multitude of times. You've heard us on more than 25 occasions tell you how great Fist of Rage is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Switchback, we recently talked about them. Looking forward to seeing these guys again. Great group of guys. And then 3D in Your Face.
Oh, man.
Where do you begin?
You begin at 3D in Your Face, kicks you in the face, but in a good way with their music.
Right. This is a freaking party. If you could say what band makes you feel like you're having a fucking party while you're watching them, it's 3D in Your
3D in Your
Face.
Face, yeah, definitely.
They encapsulate that whole era of 80s rock, but they take it to another level. I don't know if it's like...
It's like Top Fuel.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just like amped up.
Yeah.
High octane, all kinds of racing.
They got that total kind of
comparisons.
glammy kind of feel, but then like Sam has that total punk feel to him as well. And you combine that all together and it's just like, just this, like you said, Top Fuel freaking party.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And they're playing then. They're also playing, I believe, Sunday on the Retrospect stage. This is one of those bands, if someone says, who should I not miss? That would probably be one of the top 3 bands I'd tell you at Rocklahoma this year.
For sure.
Well, we will see if you're out here. You will see us at one of those 2 stages all day Thursday, hopping between the 2.
Yep.
So come up and say hi.
That's right.
Jason will have a boxer light to give you.
I will not.
A bush light, sorry.
I will not.
Okay.
But hey, if I want everyone to know, if Andy Chapman from Fist of Rage, if I see him, which I will, I'll give him some pig's eye. Because we talked about the wondrousness Pig's Eye beer and how cheap it was and how we all used to drink it.
I remember you loved that stuff. I don't know if you loved it, you just drank it a lot.
Yeah, well, you know.
So that was his jam in the day, too?
Oh, man. Yeah, well, and I don't want to get on a huge thing here because we got a lot going on with Rocklahoma.
It's Andy. We can take time.
Yeah, true, we can. Okay. Went to the Vanguard last night to see Grind, Skytown.
Okay, this is a good detour. We should have talked about this already.
Yeah, we should have. Oklahoma Braze. And Stanley's Revenge, and Andy was there, and he loved my ham shirt, so that immediately got us on a whole cheap beer discussion that lasted like half an hour. It was great.
Who could have a half-hour cheap beer discussion besides Jason Wood and Andy Chapman?
By God. And so anyways, we went through the Minnesota Brew, we went through the Lost Lake, okay. We handled it all. And then at the end of it, he's like, dude, I haven't even bought you a beer yet. What do you want? I was like,
the cheapest thing they got.
I'll take a Lone Star. And he just started laughing. He's like, you're not kidding. You really are into all the cheap beer. I was like, hell yeah, man. I spent 7-8 years of my life completely broke. Sometimes it's what you have to do.
Right.
But anyways, it was a great show. All those bands kicked ass. You know, my apologies to Stanley's Revenge. We missed them because I thought it started later than it did. But I talked to one of those guys, and you know they were great. So
here's my question: we've championed Grind, of course, all the time. Same with Oklahoma Braze.
Yeah.
Skytown, okay. CJ from Grind, Paulette from Fist of Rage have both. I think both of them have told me about this band in the past, and I've seen other people talk about them, but I've yet to see them. So what's your take?
You know, I thought they were great. They're definitely a different addition to that bill, you know. But it worked. If you like stuff that's a little bit more on the jammier side of rock, you know, like if you like Nick Nose, stuff like that, this is the band for you.
Okay.
You know, they're tight, but at the same time, they've got that loose, kind of jammy, kind of organic feel. They're all of them are talented as hell. I mean, all of those guys are insane at their instruments. You know, sometimes there's times where you had 4 guitars going up on stage. I mean, that was awesome. I mean, it was just like a wall, and you know, they got a great fan base. There's a group of girls behind us that knew every word to every one of their songs. They ended the set with a kind of a yo ho ho type kind of drinking song and brought people up on stage. And, I was really impressed. I was glad to finally get to see Skytown live.
Good.
You know, and like I said, you know, apologies to Stanley's Revenge. I talked to, Joe, I think it was. They're going to be playing more, so we'll have to check them out for sure.
Right. Cool. Well, back to Rocklahoma.
Yes. We're back on track.
Friday. Well, Friday morning is when Darkside kicks off at 9 a.m. We're going to get to all that here in a bit. Chris is going to talk about that with us.
Yes.
But just looking at the list Friday without listing everybody, you know, this is a pretty strong day. You know, at least it's kind of scattered for me. But, I mean, you look at it, obviously it kicks off the first thing in there on the River Spirit stage is Less Than Human.
Yeah.
And totally looking forward to seeing these guys on the big stage. And then just throughout the day, you know, it goes right into Rival Sons on the main stage. Then you've got Slaughter on the main stage. I've got Death Grip on the Retrospect stage. Fozzy and Ratchet Dolls are playing at the same time, which kind of sucks, but gotta go Fozzy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Fozzy's gotta happen.
And then the first thing that I'm really looking at that's a conundrum for me is In Flames and Aska at the same time. And I know most people would be like, well, that's easy, In Flames. Like, no, it's not. If this was 2009, that would be easy for me.
Yeah.
But this is not. This is 2017, and In Flames is not the same band.
They're not. And
I'm sorry, Jason Carroll. I love him.
Yeah, well,
I've seen him a few times, so I'm okay with missing them because we know how good Aska is.
Well,
it's
fun. I was just about to bring up Jason Carroll because I was like, you know what? It's In Flames. I'm going to go see him no matter what. You know, Jason's going to go see him. I'll walk over there and we'll check him out. you know, sure, they've taken a huge fucking left turn, which, by the way, way bigger than a left turn than Metallica or Def Leppard ever did when they put in Slang. But no one's fucking shitting their pants about this one, but they should be.
Well, it's probably just because they weren't on the same level of success.
I know.
I don't know.
I just like to bitch. But I looked up their set list for these festivals, and I say Aska.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, because, you know, I knew that most of the songs I had no idea what they were. So I'm like, yeah, okay.
So that's from the last 2 albums.
Yeah, I think the only thing, Cloud Connected was it. I mean, they didn't even play like The Quiet Place or whatever the fuck.
Damn.
So I'm just like, I don't know about all that.
Well, that's one of those decisions when it happens, but I'm pretty sure Aska's going to win.
That's think just so.
Me. We saw them at Rocklahoma. I think it was the year before last.
Yeah, they were great.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
And, you know, speaking of, after them on that stage is Lineham, and that's another great band. If you've never seen, they're playing at the same time as Pierce the Bells, so that is not a hard choice.
No,
people.
not at all. I mean, the choice is easy. Lineham. And
then this thing kicks off, or finalizes on the main stage at least, with Def Leppard. Notice I skipped a couple bands because I could give 2 rats ass. But I know you like Pretty Reckless. That's great. I don't dislike them. Just don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't.
But see, I'm rattling off bands I want to see. Is there anybody in there I didn't name that you're looking forward to? I know you said Bad Flower is pretty cool, but it's the same time as Death Grip, so sorry.
Well, yeah, true. I do have to go see Death Grip. Yeah. Sorry, Jason Carroll. He turned me on to him. I listened to him. They're really great.
Yeah.
You know, I do like Pretty Reckless. I mean, I don't go nuts about them, but I saw them, you know, live when they were here at Rocklahoma last, and they're pretty good. I don't know though. I'm not, you know, if I make it over there, I make it over there.
Right.
You know, I know you're wanting to see 3 Days Grace so bad, but I don't know if I can make it over there with you. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. As long as they play that horrible porn star dancing song that guy, their singer, sang with My Darkest Days.
God, man.
That's in the top 10 worst songs I've ever heard in my life.
I remember, you know, at work, there's a bunch of dudes going nuts. Oh man, this song's badass.
Because it says porn star in the title.
I was like, no, it's fucking not. It's one of the worst fucking, I mean, it's like, it's the equivalent to like, you know, if Porn Star Dancing was a TV show, it would be Small Wonder. I mean, it's that goddamn corny. It's that fucking cheesy.
Right.
There's no value in it at all. And so what does he do? He goes and joins an even crappier band.
No.
Don't get me started.
See, here's my thing, you know, I mean, we've disagreed about this before.
This fucking
I don't dislike
diet rock radio shit. It drives me up the fucking wall, man.
I never disliked 3 Days Grace, but the only thing that they had going for them was the vocalist, Adam Gontier, however you say his last name. You know, because his voice was at least something you recognized when you heard it. It's the same way with the guy from Hinder. Mm-hmm. Whether you liked the band or not, you at least knew that guy's voice.
Yeah.
And they did the same thing that Soil did, or Saliva did, whenever their singers left, which they had voices you could recognize. They replaced them with someone that was bland as fuck. Mm-hmm. So now you hear them and they just sound like everybody else. It's like, why does it even matter? Now it's even more diet. It's like it went from being Diet Dr. Pepper to fucking Diet Mountain Lightning.
Oh, man, no kidding. Ugh.
But then it ends with Def Leppard.
Yeah, so everything's good again.
Yeah.
You know?
And I give it to Def Leppard. You know, I saw him way back in the day a couple times. It was great. Then I saw him, man, probably 10 years ago, and it wasn't as great. Like, musically it was good, but Joe Elliott, it was just kind of off.
Yeah.
But it could have been that night or that period of time, because I've seen him 3 times now in the past 5 years, I think. Because we saw that one in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Then I saw him in Kansas City, and I saw him in Oklahoma City in the past year and a half. Mm-hmm. And he sounded great about this.
It was great. I can't
and the
wait
band's
to see
on fire.
Again. Yeah.
You know, I mean, both those guitarists, like Andy was talking about that recently, how great Vivian Campbell is, but you don't even see it half the time in Def Leppard, and Phil Collins, fucking great.
That's right.
It's just a sight to behold.
Yes, it
because
sure is.
You know, sorry, you people don't know every song since you haven't paid attention to the new album, but you know 95% of all the songs, so it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And let's not forget, you know, that day, Friday, on the Access stage in the afternoon, Diffuser, the Normandies.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be great.
Yeah, that's a good time right there.
Definitely.
And then it finishes off after that with the Retrospect All-Stars, which is going to be, I guess, just a big super jam of all these bands, which should be a sight to behold.
Definitely.
And you've also got Arson City playing over there on the Axis after that. Who are a great live band. And also, going on during this time period is Camp Mardi Gras After Party.
Okay.
So shout out to Christy Gross and Adam Richam.
Definitely.
Their campsite, I think they started this last year or the year before. They have this Camp Mardi Gras, big Mardi Gras style party. Mm-hmm. And it's after Def Leppard finishes. They're in the VIP camp area. I think they're towards the back of either road J or K.
Okay.
You go down there, you can't miss it. They've got a huge Mardi Gras flag. Go out and have a party.
There you go.
Show your boobs. Get some beads.
I'm for that. I could probably get some beads with these things.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
You get those big beads, not just the little cheap ones. People will shower you with the good ones.
Thanks. Boy, this just got fucking weird. Next.
All right, Saturday. Let's see. We've got the Revolutioners early in the day, which is a great band. We saw them a while back. Who else do we got going during the day?
Moxie and the Influence. That's going to be a good one.
Definitely. And man, that's 3 bands in a row that I'm a big fan of here on the Retrospect stage.
Yeah, it is,
Moxie, then 5 Star Hooker, and then Black Tora.
Yeah.
Black Tora is in my list of big time that I'm wanting to, make sure I won't miss at this thing. And thankfully, Red Sun Rising is their conflict. I don't care. I've heard them. They're fine, but I'm not going to worry about it. But, on the main stage, we've got Fuel, Zach Sabbath, The Cult, Stone Sour, all bands I'm looking forward to seeing.
That's right.
We don't know yet if they're going to bump Stone Sour up or if they're doing some kind of tribute to to Chris Cornell. We'll find out about that eventually. Yeah. But at the same time, on the side stage, we've got Diamond Head and Suicidal Tendencies that night.
Can't wait.
That's a great doubleheader right there.
Yeah.
And then you've got Dinosaur Pile Up over there today, which is a pretty cool band.
Yes. Yes, they are.
And then Wild Street finishes that Retrospect stage out. And it's the same time as Suicidal. That sucks. But they're playing the Retrospect P-Party.
There you go.
Get to see them then. That's just good time freaking 80s rock is what that is. Dead Metal Society is closing the thing out with Cora Rozic, later that night after the main stage ends. And then we head into Sunday. And Sunday's kind of it's got a good main stage for the early day, but it's kind of the thinnest day, I think.
Yes.
But
which will be the drunkest day.
Right. That main stage, the first 4 bands are all bands that I know both of us love.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's no way I'm going to miss any of those.
But Buck Cherry, hey, we've got this recent news. We actually talked about it recently.
Yes.
I'm a little butthurt about the fact that the mighty Keith Nelson is not any longer in Buck Cherry, so I might just fucking boycott it and go drink at the campsite.
Okay, well,
I'm pretty sure that Josh Todd could give 2 shits if I boycott Buck Cherry, but hey, I got to stand up for my principles here.
There you go. There you go. Well, I mean, Blackstone Cherry, I can't wait to see them.
Absolutely great.
I hate that it's going to be another fucking bullshit 30-minute set. These guys should be way bigger, but, whatever.
If this festival was in London, they'd be going on at 9
p.m.
they'd
be headlining it, yeah. I mean, they headline stadiums in Europe, in the UK. They're huge in the UK. And they're from here, and people don't get behind them, because, I don't know why. It gets me angry.
But hey, after them and Buck Cherry, you've got Rat and Jackal.
Yes.
2 of the bands from our heyday of hard rock back in the day. Rat has 3 of the original members in their band, and they've also got Carlos Cavazo from Quiet Riot. But I'm probably going to boycott them because, hey, no Bobby Blotzer, no Rat.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, people can't see that I'm being sarcastic right now.
You're kidding. I know you are. And then we've got
motherfucking Jackal.
Jacklahoma.
Yeah.
It's
always a Jacklahoma. This will be what, the 5th one maybe?
Yeah. Jackal Stock 2017.
Or the 4th or 5th. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait.
Yeah. Did we mention Zach Sabbath from the day before?
I don't know. We should have, didn't we? We might not have.
I might have just ran through.
That's going to be insane.
Yeah. I saw them open for Clutch last year. It's freaking cool as hell.
Hell yeah.
You can't go wrong with Zach Wild anytime, but playing Black Sabbath covers, that's going to be a great time.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
But Also on the Retrospect stage on Sunday, London's Dungeon, 3D in Your Face, several great bands to check out. Night Rain caps that thing off. The same time after the main stage ends, the Night Rain's playing over there on Axis. You've got As Above, So Below with CJ Pierce.
Yes.
From Drowning Pool. The Chimps are also playing that night. Another great live band. And I know you're not going to miss Taking Back Sunday.
I'm definitely going to miss them.
Okay.
Don't worry. I will miss them.
I'm not worried. I'm just...
I know you're gonna be there. Here's
a question. I know you don't like Seether, but are you going to go see him just so you can see Clint Lowry?
I don't know. I kind of thought maybe. I don't know. I don't hate Seether. I just, they're like, I don't know. Like, they got a few songs that are cool. I don't know. Are you going to go see them?
It depends on how it feels time. I'm the same way. I like a lot of their stuff, but they're one of those bands that I can go either way with at any time.
Yeah. And a lot of their stuff I don't know, so I don't know. But I don't hate them. I don't think they suck.
But see, here's the other thing. I know you don't like The Offspring. And I've always liked The Offspring.
Well, that's fine.
Even back then, still now, there's a lot of their stuff I really like. I've never seen them live.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't even care if I do. It's weird. It's like I don't have any investment in caring. Usually if it's a band I haven't seen, I'm really gung-ho about it. But just something about it doesn't do anything for me. So maybe that'll be a split game time decision, I'm sure. But
yeah, I won't go see him. I mean, I don't. It's another thing where I don't. It's like if I know somebody like really really loves Nickelback, I'm like, I'm a little suspect of them. It's like I don't know if I want them over at my place or whatever. But like the Offspring, they aren't bad. I don't like them. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, no, I'm just pointing it out.
It's just, they don't suck. It's just not my thing. So I don't know if I want to go. I don't guess I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll probably have a date with a lot of cans of hams.
That's true. Maybe some Jaeger by that point.
God, one would hope.
But yeah, both nights, Friday and Saturday, after everything, Camp Jager also has bands going on. They're only doing 2 per night. They scaled back this year.
Yes.
Yeah, the Friday night they have Switchback and Fist of Rage. And then Saturday night they've got London's Dungeon and Death Grip.
Nice.
And then Sunday night, after the main stage ends, they have the Camp Jager Kaput Party.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Which I guess means it's the final blowout on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Because from what we can gather,
that's it. This
is the end of at least the music part. They'll still be out there partying, but maybe you might hear more about this on a coming episode.
There you go.
But you know what I think?
What?
Is we've wasted enough time. We should get Chris Taylor up on here.
Yeah, definitely. This is what it's all about right here, people.
Yeah, the Darkside Stage started last year. Actually, last year they called it the GA Rock Stage.
Mm-hmm.
3 days of music. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Starting at 9 a.m., going up until the main gates open at 3 p.m. Bands going that whole time.
Yeah.
And this is a thing that they kicked off last year, and they did it with the intent of adding another stage, but not conflicting with anything else that's going on, as far as what Camp Jager does at night.
Yeah.
Axis does at night. I mean, there's a little bit of rollover with Axis's early stage bands, but, before the gates open. But, really it's just a cool thing because it adds music starting from, like we talked about before, from 9 a.m. to 3 or 4 in the morning,
Yeah, I mean, you gotta love it.
Yeah. So get your ass up Friday morning, 9 a.m., Agents of Chaos. Like I think I said a couple months ago, you don't need coffee when you got Agents of Chaos kicking your fucking ass.
You don't.
Let's get into this right now. Chris Taylor, DMG Productions. Before we get into this year, let's talk about what gave you the idea to even do this in the first place last year.
What started the stage was me and Kevin Graham were talking, and there's just a lot of bands that don't make the access stage and don't make some of the other stages. And granted, they can only take so many bands each year. And some bands, you don't see them maybe 3 years in a row. They'll play 2. And there's just a lot of good talent out there. And so we were talking, and we figured, hey, there's a stage in VIP. Why not do one in the GA section? And so that just kind of sparked the idea. It was actually Black Plague, Stephanie Taylor out of Virginia. She was one of the ones that was trying to get on the access stage, and I guess some idiot messaged Sunshine and said, hey, if you don't put them on, you're an idiot. Well, that was just stupid, and it didn't come from the band,
right.
At all. And Stephanie's really cool. It was not a representation of them. But because of that, I think that had a big part in why they didn't make the stage. And so I was like, well, they're a good band. Let's go in place. Unfortunately, they weren't able to make our stage anyway. But still, at least I was trying to give an opportunity. And there it was born. Just me and Kevin talking, a few other people talking. And next thing you know, all the people at Camp Darkside pitching in. We got Ed Taylor has a trailer stage. Sean Fate Nelson does sound. He had sound equipment, and just like that, within actually a few days, we were already talking to bands. So
is this something you've done before? I know
in Arizona.
booked shows a long time ago, right?
Yeah, in Arizona, I used to book shows. Not my own stage or anything like that, but just booking shows out there. I worked with a band called Blind Rage, Twisted Fable, and actually put together a band from a bunch of other bands, like a super group, I guess you could say. A couple guys from Utah, some Arizona locals, and a guy from Pittsburgh, a drummer. It's called Split Lid. And at one point was actually working with an AR rep from Warner Brothers, and we were doing showcases. And the lead singer, Stabbing Westward, was actually on one of those, which was kind of cool to meet him. You ever meet him? He is a short fuck. Like, seriously. I thought the guitar player was the lead singer. Like, you have no idea. But anyway, so yeah.
Is there anything different going into this year that you learned from last year that you're going to upgrade or change? Or
Yeah, water. We ran out of water way too early. And I felt bad. And the other thing is, it's hot, it's humid. And so we got it covered this year, which is going to be cool. The sides will be open, letting in enough natural light, but we're also going to have some lights up on stage. And we're going to make sure that we have enough water. And I think also tip jars. It's one thing at the Rocklahoma campgrounds, can't sell any merch and stuff like that. So that kind of sucks for the bands, but at the same time, I understand it's not a sanctioned stage. It's something to work towards. But for right now, they're not allowed to sell anything. So at least a tip jar for if people want to help these bands out. I mean, they're traveling from all over the place to get here and play this year.
Can they, I don't know if this is something you can say on a recorded thing, but can they bring merch and you walk up to them and buy it like at their car? Or is that still illegal? Or against the rules?
Technically, technically, yes. It's, I guess, illegal in the rule book. No money can exchange hands in the campgrounds for any kind of products. Now, if they go off and do that somewhere, that has nothing to do with me. They've all been informed, and they all know that they can't sell the merch. Especially, I let them know, do not do it. If you're going to do it, which I've advised against it, but if you're going to do it, don't do it on GA24 and all of our spots.
Right. Go far away.
Just trying to follow the rules and let bands come out and have a good time and get some exposure. So.
Cool.
How do you go about choosing the bands?
This year, it's crazy because I didn't even put out a, hey, submit to play the Darkside. It was just word of mouth from last year. And once I kind of posted a couple little things out there, I was getting submissions left and right, which was really cool. And so that actually stopped me from putting out a submit.
Definitely.
And a guy, Anthony Streeter, he actually helped a lot. And he was submitting a bunch of bands to me. And I think Saul, Panic Device, Caliber Theory, one of them. He was a big reason to get those bands on the stage this year. So.
Is it, besides him helping you, is it just you deciding on who you think would fit, or do you have anybody else helping you choose?
I asked Heather if she likes him or not. That's about it. She's like my personal assistant.
Right.
A lot of the bands, I'll go through and show her and see what she thinks about them. But other than that, it's just me picking them. Last year was a little different. Had a few people picking them, but this year everything kind of happened so fast, I just went with it. So.
Question I had, too, is when do you sleep?
Monday for 2 hours? No.
Yeah.
Not often. Yeah, it's I work 60 hours, normal job. It's what a lot of people. I am sorry if you message me and I don't get back to you. It's between full-time job, kids, and constantly doing music stuff. Yeah, it gets a little crazy sometimes.
I bet. So what is where would you like to see DMG go? What's the ultimate goal?
Ultimate goal right now is just to keep growing, to get more exposure for these bands each and every year, to get the name out there for people to know where the stage is. You go to Rocklahoma, no one's asking where's the access stage. They know where it's at. Everyone knows where Camp Jager is, but it probably took a little bit for them. The first year I went to Rocklahoma, I had no idea about it. So that's the main thing, is for more and more people to know where it's at and want to come out each year and check it out, and just to keep growing.
Yeah.
I know we're going to get to the bands that are playing, but you got all the stuff going on, like the wet t-shirt contest and Moment of Silence. Is there anything else going on over there people can look forward to, besides obviously a bunch of great music?
Let's see. Well, we do have the Moment of Silence for Ben and Cody, and that'll be for the W Adore. And then there's going to be a rock-on celebration for people that have passed, Rock Family. Okay. There's Miss Darkside competition, and that's kind of been going on our own Camp Darkside page, but it's down to two women from the Dark Side, and the winner will be announced from there. Okay. And then, like you said, the wet t-shirt contest. We were going to have a wedding. Unfortunately, that did not go through. But she is in the running for Miss Darkside, so that'd be kind of cool if she won.
She might find a new person to get married to after that.
Hey, you never know. It's Rocklahoma. Anything can happen.
That's right.
Well, let's talk about some of these bands. Want to run down some of these
All right.
real quick?
Yeah, on Friday, starting the show off, we're going to have Agents of Chaos, which they have a brand new singer. I just saw them at Georgia's Majestic this last week, and they're awesome. A lot of high energy, everything else, but I kind of feel bad for the neighbors that are not awake yet.
Right.
Because Agents of Chaos starting the show off at 9 is going to wake a lot of fucking people up.
Right.
And then you got Scorned. Obviously, you guys know Scorned, and they're a great band. You got Forever and Disgust, one of Kyle's bands, as Shadows Collapse, and they have a new singer. It's kind of like a rapcore metal band now. It's a little bit different than what they've put out, but from what I've heard, I think people are going to be extremely surprised. And then you got the Devil You Adore, which is going to be their final show. They are changing names, and of course they changed singer and everything, but it'll be their final show under that name. And so I encourage people to come out and see that, get signatures. Kind of a novelty thing to see their last show.
Yeah.
And then Saturday morning, 9 o'clock, we got Forsaken Few. And they're good people, good band. As Shadows Collapse play again.
We actually saw Forsaken Few about a year and a half ago open up for Soul and Joplin.
Nice.
Really good.
Yeah.
They were great.
And then we got Crane Technique, obviously. We'll be seeing them tonight here at the pre-rock party. Smoke Offering, Kyle's other band. And then we got Caliber Theory, which will also be here at the pre-rock party tonight. And they're it's one of those bands that just self-promotes like crazy, and just got their stuff together. And Jared Bishop, lead singer, talk to them all the time. Great guys. Can't wait to see them tonight and at that show. And then, unfortunately, Red Devil Eyes is unable to make it. They had some personal issues within the band. And so currently am looking for a replacement. So either the Life Fest winner will move to that spot instead of Sunday at 2, or if they stay at Sunday at 2, there will be another band that takes that Saturday at 2 o'clock, and that'll be announced here shortly. Okay. And then, let's see, Sunday we got Outside the Living. These guys are traveling all the way from Huntington Beach, I believe, California.
Wow.
Yeah. And great band. The lead singer was part of Scarlet Vice, or did a song with Scarlet Vice last year, so that's how we knew about it. And very cool for them to be coming all this way out. Vague Vendetta, you guys know Vague Vendetta. A lot of people do. Great band, female lead. Razor Fate, which is Sean's band, the sound guy. And wasn't sure what to expect when I went to first see them. I didn't hear a whole bunch of music and everything, and I was blown away. Great band. Sean's a beast on the guitar, and very excited to see them again. Saul out of Iowa will be after that, and it kind of has a Tool sound. Sounds like Maynard. Great band. And you got Panic Device out of Tyler, Texas after that at 1 o'clock. And they actually have made friends now with Caliber Theory because they knew they were playing a stage. They did a show together. And it's awesome to be able to like make connections like that, you know?
Yeah.
And then, like I said, we'll have whoever wins the Life Fest, which is actually going on today and tomorrow. So we won't have the winner until after this weekend. Will be last or a replacement for Red Devil Eyes.
Okay. So who you got sponsoring this thing?
I've got Stoney Jackson from Balls Magazine. He's going to be doing a 2-page article, which circulates out in California. So it's cool to get some reach out there, you know, about a side stage of Rocklahoma.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's how you got to get some exposure, get things started. And then you got The Flame, which is based out of Rogers, Mike Jandebeer. He's going to actually have a media tent there. So after the bands are done playing, they could exit the stage, do an interview with him. He's been playing tracks here recently. And, just gives a chance for them to tell their stories and all that. So that would be cool. Of course, it's a DMG Drug Productions event. Then you guys, Thunder Underground, which...
Who are they?
Who are they? Some guys. Pretty cool, though. And then you got Rock Shots, which is Keith Newark, and he'll be here tonight actually taking some pictures. Really cool dude. He's been working on a promo video. The guy works like crazy and just always trying to stay in the loop of what's going on.
Takes great photos, too.
Yeah. And then you got Life Fest, which, of course, is the competition, the Battle of the Bands, and the proceeds of that is going to a family with a child with cancer. It's just one of those organizations that loves music, loves, helping people and doing it for the right reasons. And then also we got the Three Lunatics podcast, which is Zach Elmore, and he's going to be filming the whole thing and making this into a Rocklahoma documentary. So he won't just be filming our stage, he'll be filming over at Access, over at Jager, and just the festivities and making a awesome DVD for people to have memories of the show. Especially because at Rocklahoma, you don't remember half of what happened, and you're going to need the DVD to figure it out.
I've actually thought of that before and wondered why someone hadn't done that. So that's cool. He's doing that.
Yep.
Putting all the pieces together.
Yeah.
Well, outside of your thing, who are you most looking forward to, on the main stages or the River Spirit stage?
Suicidal Tendencies.
Yeah. Same
They're
the top of my list.
Yeah. Have not seen them yet. Def Leppard, I haven't seen them yet. I actually had my dad cut my shirt, just like the lead singer's shirt when I was a kid. So I used to run around that. And see Soundgarden, big Chris Cornell fan, have been for a lot of years. Loved Audioslave, or all of his other. But yeah, big fan of Chris Cornell, and very, very much looking forward to seeing them this year.
Well, let's talk a little bit about this Bands Against Bullying show you put together as well. Like, how did this come about? I know the reasoning, but if you want to talk about it, so everybody else.
Yeah, Naomi from Rock Rage Radio, she posted a video online talking about this girl, Erica Smith, that unfortunately took her life in Yosho from bullying. And she's only 12 years old, and it's just some of the details, like even after she was committed suicide, one of the kids that was doing it put "It was nice hanging with you" and a picture of her and a noose on her page. And the thing is, the school has done nothing. And it's not the first time out there. There's been, 3, 4, 5 incidents out there in the last couple of years, and the school's not doing anything about it. Kids wore the t-shirt to school with her face on it, and the school made them take it off because it was upsetting kids, in honor of her. And so it's kind of like they just sweep it under the rug like it never happened. And so we got an organization out there, don't have the name right in front of me, but it is going to be to help that area and to get the information to all the kids and the parents and try to educate about suicide prevention, about bullying, and what goes on in the schools out there. So, but yeah, I saw that video and instantly messaged her saying, "Hey, I want to help. I'd like to throw a show, some kind of benefit, some kind of concert." And she's awesome. Eric, also with Rock Rage Radio, I've been talking to him a bunch, and we decided let's do this. And the family's involved, and and that's the best part. The family's involved, and some of the band members of the bands that are playing we're friends with them. So I mean, this is a big family thing, and just trying to raise money for the right reason.
Cool. So is the money going to a charity organization? Or
yes.
For the family? Okay.
Yeah, it'll be going to with the family. Actually, originally it was going to be for the family, And the family said they don't want the money. You know, they want this to go towards something that's going to help prevent this from happening again, which is obviously honorable, you know, for them to want that, because anybody can say, hey, I want money, but that's not what they care about. They care about making sure that another 12, 13-year-old girl doesn't take her life in that area because of this.
Right. So where's this happening at?
It's happening in the Osho. Yeah, it's at the West 60 Cycle there in the Osho. And it'll be on June 10th. And right now we actually are up to 10 bands. So
Nice.
yeah, all-day festival. The bands playing Bands Against Bullying is going to be Severmind, Machine in the Mountain, Crane Technique, Caliber Theory, One Nation Under, Switchback, Under the Radar, which I'm excited to see. It's actually 14 and 15-year-old kids.
Really?
And it
That's
is,
cool.
I mean, who else to talk to the youth than the youth, you know? And so, I mean, you can look them up on YouTube. It's Under the Radar in Memphis, and they did a cover of War Pigs. You know, I mean, they got stuff on there. It's got 70, 80,000 hits on it. Very cool. They're one of those groups that are on their way up. We also added Forsaken Few, and then The Devil You Adore, which will actually be Claim Your Enemy. At that point, they'll officially have changed their name. And then Waking the Sleeper is the last band that was added, and that's a female lead band out of Kansas. So.
I mean, that's a strong lineup.
Yes, it sure is.
What's the cost on this?
It's going to be $10, and children 12 and under are absolutely free. We want to make sure families come out, and I mean that's what it's for. You know, we don't, if it was in all ages or 21 and up, I don't think it would help a whole lot of people. So we definitely encourage for families to come out and check this out. Only $10. I mean, you got $10 to see 10 bands, so it's $1 a band.
Yeah.
Not a bad price, and like I said, children 12 and under absolutely free. It's gonna be awesome.
Well, let's talk about Machine Head before we finish this,
All
because I
right.
know you love Machine Head as
Yes.
much as I do. So, just what's your favorite album or songs or?
Favorite songs, probably. I'll go with one that's not like they're well known. I'll probably go with American High.
Oh, nice.
Is probably my favorite song. Just to break down on that song at the end. It just always gets my blood flowing. I actually just listened to it on the way here.
Really?
Yeah,
What album is that on?
that is a good question. I am not sure.
I don't have all my, I mean, I love Machine, but not as much as you guys.
Yeah,
I don't have it all straight. You probably know, though.
I think that's on Super Project. I can't remember.
yeah. I can't remember
you
what
kinda trailed
album.
off
but-
when you said it. I don't know.
yeah, I also like Davidian. Let's see, what is the one with the hell of a hook at the beginning? In This Day, something about a day.
From This Day.
From This Day, thank you.
Yeah.
That I knew how to play that guitar like 15 years ago. But yeah, that's a great track. It's and then one of their newer songs, Locust, it's new a couple years ago, but just one of those bands that changed, changed with the times. They're kind of that new metal, a little bit of rapcore in there, and they still kept a little bit of that, but they just got more and more metal, I think.
Yeah.
So
They played From This Day, don't they still play that every now and then?
Rarely. They
Rarely.
Yeah.
rarely
saw
ever
them
play
play
anything
once.
from that album, and then we saw him open for Megadeth a few years
That's
ago.
right, yeah.
And he said that it was one of the guys in Suicide Silence was opening up as well. He said one of the guys in the band, it was his birthday, and he told him that was his favorite song. So here you go. And they
gotcha.
played it that
Said,
night,
"Fuck it,
so we
play
got
it,"
lucky.
Yeah, and for some reason, every time I listen to Machine Head, I have to listen to Fear Factory.
Yeah.
Either before or after. I don't know. Those two bands I've always kind of grouped together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's and that's
Kinda,
exactly what I did on the way here.
I get that because I got into him about the same time in the mid 90s.
I miss that time. I do think new metal, and just that style. I think it's gonna make a comeback. I really do. You look at the bands that are people buy tickets for, right? Slipknot, Korn, Disturbed, let's say, Five Finger Cock Punch, those guys. All these bands people pay all this money for, and they sell out these stadiums, but yet people say new metal and that style is dead. Why? Why does it have to be dead? Yeah, I mean, you don't have to wear the Janko pants and the spiky hair. I get it, but that sound itself, at least for me, is one of my favorite genres besides the original, Metallica, Iron Maiden, Slayer, So yeah, I hope it comes back in full force.
For instance, Crane Technique has that style going.
Yeah.
You hear a few other
Less
new
Than
bands.
Human kind of has that,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's So they're newer bands with that style that are doing it well. So I think
Yeah.
you're right. You know.
I think all it takes is for, I mean, it's like anything. Where was Blink 182, Good Charlotte, all those type of bands? Nowhere. You know, like, I mean, not nowhere, but nobody really knew who they were. Then all of a sudden you have, say, Green Day, and then boom, all these bands. It's just the right time, right place, and beginning the right genre.
Yeah.
And so somebody brings it back, you'll get a big flourish. I mean, no offense to the band Flaw, but if it was any other time, nobody would have ever known who they were. But because they came out right at that time, they got signed and became somebody. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool, man. Well, we appreciate your time, and we're really looking forward to the Darkside Stage this year, and obviously this tonight.
Yep.
and I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much, especially for meeting me here early and
Yeah.
No problem.
and doing this. So thank you guys
Hey,
very
makes it
much.
easy.
And thank you for just all the plugs you guys do, you know, tagging me and everything and just keep me in the loop with all the stuff you guys are doing as well. And it's awesome, man. You guys are on the up and up, and can't wait to when you guys have the top rock stars. It's coming. You just had Gene Simmons, so
Yeah.
I don't get much better than that. But I'm talking Corey Taylor's going to be on your show one day. You know,
That'd be nice.
Jonathan Davis is going to be there. They're all going to be there.
Yeah.
They better be.
They better be.
We're
Hey, we
waiting.
just had John Connolly from Seven Dust, so we're working our way up.
There you
right.
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go, Chris Taylor of DMG Productions. Thank you to him for taking the time out to talk to us about the Darkside Stage this year at Rocklahoma and whatever else, the other stuff he's got going on, like Bands Against Bullying, how he got his start, etc. So it's very cool to talk to him. If you're out at Rocklahoma or there in the campgrounds, get on Facebook and follow DMG Productions and follow Camp Darkside. You can be caught up on all this stuff. Don't miss those bands. 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day.
Definitely.
Like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be out there.
Yeah.
Both of us will be there by Wednesday afternoon.
Yes.
I'll be out there a little earlier. Come by. We're in the VIP row A. Can't miss our big banner. Say, hey, what's up? We've got t-shirts, $15.
That's right.
We'll throw in a koozie if you buy one.
Hell yeah.
We've got koozies and stickers. All that great stuff. Come by, say, hey. Bring us shots.
That's right.
We appreciate that.
Definitely. Definitely.
And if you're poor, maybe I'll give you a shot. If I'm nice.
Yeah, but there's no guarantee.
I will give Andy and Paulette a shot.
Okay, well, I know that.
But everybody else, I got to run you through.
Rigorous,
Yeah,
extreme vetting,
there you go.
as our bumbling leader would put it. Anyways,
Right.
but yeah, come on by. Trent will tell you why he thinks Poison Swallow This Live is the best live album ever.
Okay, if you tell me what time to do this, I'll have Travis Davis from The Devil You Adore out here to back me up.
Yeah, hey, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying,
Okay.
and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I think Load is Metallica's best album.
Right.
Just kidding. That's definitely saying anger.
Right. Come out there, say, hey, this is your first time listening. We appreciate it. 126 previous episodes, 2 years worth of episodes now
Yeah.
for you to go back and check out.
All kinds of stuff. You think about it, it's probably on here or
Yeah.
something like it.
We talked about Warrant earlier. One of the first guys from a bigger band we had on was Joey Ott from Warrant way back.
Oh yeah,
That was fun as hell.
definitely.
We've had on other guys in that vein, like guys from Europe and Trickster and Bullet Boys and Lillian Axe. 3D in Your Face has been on here. The list goes on there. We've had on guys from The Sword and Truck Fighters, The Obsessed, King. We've had on guys from Avatar, Seven Dust, Drowning
That's
Pool,
right.
and Gene Simmons from Kiss.
That's right. Gene Simmons from Kiss. We've had on He Is Legend. We've had on guys from Miss May I. We said earlier CJ. We've had him from Drowning Pool.
That's right.
He's been on. So, and also I saw Grind last night. They've been on. Saw Oklahoma Braves. They've been on. Just check it out, people.
Yeah. BeatThunderUnderground.com is the website. SoundCloud.com/Thunder-Undergrounds where all the episodes are. We're also on YouTube at The Thunder Underground. Everything's up there. We've also got some other stuff going on there like reviews and every album in a row. All this great stuff. So get on there, subscribe to that. And there you have it. we will be back after Rocklahoma with the Rocklahoma review. We've also got an episode with Mark Kendall of Great White coming up. And we'll have several more things to talk about after that because we'll, of course, be doing a few things at Rocklahoma for this podcast. So be on the lookout for all that great stuff.
We've also got Child Bite coming up, too.
That's true.
Sean and Sean.
Definitely. Can't wait for that one.
Definitely.
Because that was a pretty interesting talk.
Yes.
Well, I think we're done here. Until next time.
Thunder Underground, y'all.